Beginner trader, based on what I understand trading to be nowadays, it was just randomly kind of doing things in the market and shooting myself in the foot. Really didn't know what I was doing. My approach was really very much discretionary, didn't have any system to follow. Was as a result, right, my trading performance not consistent at all. To implement a system, it's not like just a walk in the park. Didn't know what I didn't know before. I had no idea what it takes to actually fully implement a system and to make it your own. Mistakes are not only unavoidable, but also it's a necessity. Coaching and feedback really helped me to make the most out of my mistakes. The patterns are magical. The more I use it, the more I'm like constantly amazed as to how did. I think for me, I was really lucky for the first complete system that I'm learning. I have this step-by-step instruction, right? And kind of like almost like hand-holding to go through it. So it's like to implement a system, it's not like just a walk in the park, right? Like you need to have a fair amount of like prep work to do that. I didn't know what I didn't know before. I had no idea what it takes to actually fully implement a system and to make it your own. The patterns are magical. The more I use it, the more I'm like constantly amazed as to how did Gabriel figure out the system, like it works. It's creepy. So that like freaks me out how well it works. That especially beginner traders probably underestimate how much work it takes to actually fully implement a system. I think during like day 2 of Gabriel's workshop, I thought I already know the system, and then I tried to, run it like, I attempted to put it into the live market, and of course, Gabriel stopped me, warned me against it, and thank you, Gabriel, for that. It would have been a disaster, and I had no idea of the amount of preparation that one needs to not only understand the components of the systems, very well, to rewire the brain to understand the rules and be able to implement it, in the live market, and how much simulation it needs to be done, and how much process and procedures type of work that one needs to put in. Just really take baby steps, one step at a time, and you can't rush it, right? You have to, like, it's really more like the saying, like more haste, less speed, right? I think that's so true with system implementing a trading system. You have to really pace yourself and do it step by step in order to have the best results. And oftentimes people just rush to to trade a system, even a simple system, right? I think you really need to slow down and digest there are so many nuances to, like, even just maybe one rule behind a system. There's a lot of nuances. You need to rewire your brain and to really internalize the rules, right? To know it is one thing, to actually trade it in the live market requires a lot of coordination, right? Like cognitively, emotionally, psychologically, and then you have to have the right process in place. You actually have to make a lot of mistakes in order to trade something well. And in that regard, I think mistakes are not only unavoidable, but also it's a necessity, right? It's necessary for someone to make sufficient amount of mistakes before you can master that skill, right? I think it's no different than learning any other skill in sports or just in anything. And you have to make the mistakes, and mistakes are a way, right? Kind of paves your way to success. And in this regard, like applying the concept of deep practice really, I think, allow you to kind of get the biggest bang for your buck. I mean, like, to make the most out of the mistakes you make and learn from it. I felt that I really benefited a lot from Gabriel's coaching and his evaluation of my trades and the mistakes, right? I think, I have to make mistakes. However, right, I also want to accelerate my, my learning and development, so that like each one mistake that all the mistakes I made, right, I truly learned sufficiently from them. I think Gabriel's coaching and feedback really helped me to make the most out of my mistakes. Is the confidence as a trader much more mature and seasoned, turning into a consistently profitable trader. That was a turning point. It was almost like shocking, completely a new identity, confidence that, as long as the market is there, I'll always be able to trade profitably. That I really kind of enjoy is the confidence as a trader, right? As part of my trader development, I think I've, with Gabriel's help, I have really become much more mature and seasoned as a trader. And the amount of confidence that I have in nowadays in approaching the market is just night and day difference compared to before. I have so much clarity, mental clarity in looking at the market versus like so much confusion and anxiety before. Now very calm and very confident in my ability to execute my trading, turning into a consistently profitable trader. That was a turning point. It was almost like shocking, completely a new identity. Almost like couldn't recognize myself at the beginning, and then but it's such a good feeling to have, to be able to have that confidence that, as long as the market is there, I'll always be able to trade profitably out of it. In terms of the results, definitely consistent profitable and multiple big R winners and even double-digit R winners. Consistency in the past few months. I just say it's not like a rare event, not a fluke, right? Have a double-digit winner. It's something to be expected when you can see how that feeds into the confidence. And then like kind of very like much calmer in approaching the market, like from a FOMO it's rarely happens because when you kind of it's related to that feeling of confidence. And from my results, then when you can always trade consistently, then there's no rush to kind of get in like I used to, right? Always at the worst moment. You're not controlled by the market anymore. Being in my own control, you call it being the captain of your own trading. That's a good feeling to have. The ability to read the market, the like mental clarity in seeing what's happening in the market and interpret it and act accordingly. And the patterns are amazing. It's just like there's something magical about them. And the more I use the patterns, and the more I'm convinced that they're built on like solid basis. There's something to it that this kind of a magic component that works. It just works consistently across time and space. So the more I use it, the more sometimes it works so well, it kind of freaks me out. Okay, you take care. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye.